Alright guys, so we're here at UK Games Expo. I'm here with Richie and we're going to be talking about all the fantastic stuff that Hatchette Games have to share with us. So, take it away and lead us through this smorgasbord of absolutely beautiful looking board games.
Thank you very much. So we'll kick off with Iki. This is like a sort of mid-weight, heavy Euro game. We're set in Edo era, Japan, and we're in this sort of central market space in what is now Tokyo, basically. So really what drives the game, you've got this dual-layered turn order track, basically. This is the firefighting track, dictates turn order and helps you to avoid catastrophes later in the games. So all of these shops would have been made from wooden paper, so being able to put out the fires is quite important. So in this, leftmost space goes first, and so that's our yellow. So yellow will choose boom to go there, purple's next, boom goes there, and then blue goes there, let's say. So the actual turn order kicks off in this order. You're then moving around the central rondel, and each of these spaces is like a market or like a trading location, a stall around this market. You can take the main action, and throughout the course of the game we're all going to be employing these workers up here, or artisans, and they will then become available at these trading stalls. So boom, purple stops here, he does the main action and now has the choice of one of these two additional actions. If you use the actions of other people, you upskill them, train them up. Those people can potentially retire, which continues scoring their owner a bigger end game bonus and contributes to like an end game score as well at the end of the game. But there are lots of other ways to score points at the end of the game and during. You've got tobacco, pipes, fish to score, so there are things to buy throughout the game. You can build buildings and bits and pieces like that. And in between each round, so we're playing over the course of a year, every season change, these workers will change. So any worker that's left is incentivized with coins. Between seasons, they wipe and are replaced by steadily better and better artisans and workers throughout the game. And matching workers will score points between rounds as well. So they score you end game points, and if you manage them correctly throughout the game, they'll score you points between rounds. So in this case, we've got 3 blues times 2 for red, 3 blues times 1 for purple. So end game, balancing your end game and your points throughout the game.
Sounds very cool. I really like the idea that there's lots of different routes towards victory. I think that's really cool with games, especially because you can go into it and approach it one way the first time and then be like, right, okay, this time I'm going to try and go a different strategy and stuff, so it's all very cool.
Absolutely. Also, it's a very hard game to pitch in like a minute. It's really one you have to sort of play to appreciate like the layers and the beauty of it, really.
Sounds fascinating and looks very beautiful as well. So let's move on and carry on. So yes.
This one's slightly easier to pitch in a minute. Okay, so it's called Almadi, and really it's like a tile placement game. Okay, easier to explain but a little bit crunchy when you get into the meat and bones of it. So it's 2 to 5 players. You're essentially going to be drafting tiles from this central pool here. If you take a tile from the 1, you have to place it in row 1, and similarly for all of the numbers. So you're looking to score end game points for these reasons. So your oases will score you 3 points per tile in the pool. Largest group will score their opponent, their owner of them 6 bonus points. Your camel herd, if they're all adjacent to each other, the larger the herd, the more goods they can carry, and then the more points they score you at the end of the game. These are mosaic tiles, so your palaces will score you points for being adjacent to the oases, and extra points if you can cover them up with a mosaic tile. Rubies in the basic game, which I've got set up here, just score you points. In the advanced game, with the cards hidden in the box, they can buy you characters who give you abilities and points and bits and pieces like that. And then, that's basically the game. But really where the crunch comes is as you're placing tiles, which I have to show you over here, you can see all of these things on the outside. If you point an arrow to a thing, you activate that ability. Right. So this symbol, boom, it's going to get that player some additional goods at the end of the game. They get more complicated than that because the right placement can trigger several things all at once. So let's try and find a good example on the spot. This is a good one. So boom, that one goes there. I trigger that symbol, which means I get a mosaic for the end of the game. These pots would be end game points, and this carpet symbol here means you can pick up a tile and move it somewhere else, which means, let's just say this was here. Pick it up, move it there. I've chained on that turn, those 2 actions, and then got myself an additional card. So you can build some pretty big turns with the right combination of tiles that you're crunching out.
I'm a big fan of tile laying games anyway.
Yep.
So having one of those that's got a little bit, as you say, A little bit of extra crunch.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really cool because it kind of takes it to that next level. Sounds very, very awesome indeed.
Yeah, and you just scale the decks for the player count. You scale the decks when they run out. Boom, game's over. And whoever's got the most points wins.
So yeah, what else have you got to show us here? So
I will hand you over to Jamie for the next two, if that's all right. Yeah, so I'll push you on down that way, and we've got dinner in Paris. In fact, I can walk you through Trek12 whilst Jamie's walking through dinner in Paris. Yeah,
let's go around over here. Come this way, Justin. Come here.
Hello. There we go. Perfect. So yeah, we've got Trek12 here as well. So it's a roll and write game co-designed by Bruno Catala, and you can play a quick ascent, which is climbing up one mountain, because that's what we're doing in this game, or you can play like a longer climb where you do 3 peaks in one session. If you play 1 peak, you just score the most points. Whoever scores the most points wins. Boom, done. Over the course of 3 treks, you're looking to get the most stars, and you get those in a variety of ways. The game's sort of driven. You roll the 2 dice, bosh, and you'll see you've got sort of 19 spaces on your board and 20 boxes on this track here, basically. So you either choose the lowest of the 2 dice, the highest of the 2 dice, the difference between them, the sum of them added together, or them multiplied together. Every time you do that, you check one of these boxes, so you can only do each of them 4 times throughout the course of the game. Highest number you can put in this spot is 12, and the lowest you can put in there is a 0. Cool. You're looking to explore areas of the mountain or map routes to the top. To explore an area, you want an adjacent group of the same number. To map a route to the top, you need a sequence of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for example. You then score the highest number in any group plus every single circle that's adjacent to it. That's the meat and gravy of it. Your biggest group of like an ascent to the top, or your biggest explored area, will score you bonus points. Any completely isolated space will score you negative points. Most points wins. And then if you're playing the advanced rule, whoever wins, i.e. scores the most points, you'll get a star. If you score over 65 points, you get a star regardless, and those rewards get steadily higher and higher throughout the thing. You also have difficult terrain on these boards, and the highest number you can pop in those sort of like darker circles is a 6, so they're slightly trickier to navigate. But when you're playing through those modes, you get a little bit of helpful gear. So if you're ever grouping 0s, 1s or 2s together, you get a little bit of gear to help you out. So you can get an additional plus. You can get some rope that helps you skip over a space. You can get this card, a compass, to avoid placing adjacent for that turn, and little bits and pieces like that. And most excitingly, if you meet certain, certain like requirements, you meet certain criteria throughout the game, you get to unlock these envelopes. And I do
like a good envelope.
Tell me about it. So you get additional content for the game that you can use in every single playthrough from then on, in each of these envelopes. So this one, once you get 2 11s next to each other, a group of 7, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Very, very cool. I really like that we're starting to see a lot more of these kind of like roll and writes developing beyond just kind of like, sort of like a basic level. We're seeing lots more games sort of built into them. I think it's really nice.
Yeah. No, it's a really lovely exercise in optimization, but there's like a nice engaging theme with it as well. Yeah.
And now we're here with Jamie, and we're going to be talking about dinner in Paris. So please take us through this one. Again, looks very, very nice.
It does. So Dinner in Paris is a mid to lightweight Euro game. Your restaurateurs trying to build up new restaurants in this newly opened terrace area in Paris. Over the course of the game, you'll build up new restaurants and terraces coming out of them. So to build your restaurant, you'll be collecting sets of ingredient cards, which will allow you to place different restaurants. The smaller restaurants, like the friterie, only require you to have a couple of potatoes, but sort of the gastronomique, well, you need a bit of everything.
Of course, you need more food, obviously, to feed the people in these lovely restaurants.
Exactly. Over the course of the game, you'll be placing out your terraces, which will gain you victory points and also more income. The terraces sort of have a sort of polyomino effect as well, which you can gain bonus victory points from. In addition to that, each game has a set of variable objectives, which will give you more victory points. The last one, which is a bit of fun, is anytime you cover up a pigeon with a terrace, you get a bonus card. And these can range from sort of ongoing effects to one-time things like placing an additional terrace. You'll keep going until you're almost out of restaurants, and then count up to see who's got the most points.
Sounds absolutely fantastic. And anything that means that pigeons actually help out is they're not just the rats of the sky. It's great.
Exactly.
So yeah, if you're interested in any of these games, can people come and try them out here at the show this weekend?
Yes, we'll be demoing all weekend along with Studio H, just off the Family Games area.
Fantastic stuff. So if you like the look of any of the games, so you've got Icky, you've got Almadi, you've got Dinner in Paris, and there's also Trek12 here as well. Fantastic games to come and look at. They look beautiful. So yeah, go and give them a go, and we'll be back with another video very, very soon.